So, Taylor, we just discussed how chasing the latest investment trends, fueled by FOMO or the fear of missing out, can seriously derail a DIY investor's long term financial goals. But there's another significant risk DIY investors often overlook, and that's the lack of flexibility to handle unexpected life events. Let's say we have someone, let's call them Mark. Mark is a diligent DIY investor following a rigid financial plan he meticulously crafted. Everything is going smoothly until suddenly Mark loses his job. He has no contingency plan, and his carefully constructed financial house of cards begins to crumble. This is what we'll be exploring today: the importance of flexibility and adaptability in financial planning, especially in the face of unforeseen circumstances like job loss. Sam, in a situation like Mark's, how can individuals build resilience into their financial plans to better handle these unexpected curveballs?
Resilience in financial planning boils down to being prepared for change. It's about anticipating potential disruptions and having systems in place to absorb the shock. A rigid plan, especially one built without professional guidance, can easily break under pressure. Think of it like a tree in a storm. A rigid tree is more likely to snap, whereas a flexible one bends with the wind.
That makes sense. So it's not about predicting the future, but about being prepared for anything the future might bring. This reminds me of what we discussed about emotional decision-making. If Mark had panicked and sold off his investments when he lost his job, things would have been even worse, right?
Exactly, Taylor. Emotional resilience goes hand in hand with financial resilience.
And what are the essential components of building that financial resilience, Sam? What are the practical steps someone can take?
One of the most crucial components is establishing an emergency fund.
An emergency fund, so like a financial safety net.
Precisely. It's a dedicated pool of easily accessible money specifically for unexpected expenses. Think of it as your first line of defense against financial hardship. In Mark's case, a robust emergency fund could have provided him with a breathing room while he searched for a new job, preventing him from having to make drastic decisions like selling investments at a loss or taking on high-interest debt.
The reference article we've been discussing touches on this, highlighting the blind spots that often exist in DIY plans, particularly in risk management. It stresses the importance of having a safety net. Sam, what would you consider a robust emergency fund?
A common recommendation is 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. For someone with consistent income and lower expenses, 3 months might be sufficient. However, for someone with fluctuating income or higher expenses, 6 months or even more might be advisable. This ensures you can cover your basic needs, rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, without dipping into long-term investments.
So if I understand correctly, the emergency fund allows you to maintain financial stability while navigating a disruption, like job loss, without derailing your long-term financial goals. That really clarifies things.
Exactly. And it provides the crucial time and mental space to make rational decisions instead of emotional ones, connecting back to our previous discussion on FOMO and panic selling. Sam, how does this concept of an emergency fund connect to the broader context of financial planning?
An emergency fund is a foundational element of a sound financial plan. It allows you to weather short-term storms without sacrificing long-term goals like retirement savings. It's about achieving a balance between immediate needs and future aspirations.
So, an emergency fund provides a buffer against unexpected life events. But what about unexpected changes in the financial landscape itself? Let's move on to discuss another scenario: a change in tax law that catches a DIY investor off guard. Before we move on, let's recap. Building financial resilience is crucial for navigating the unexpected. A key component of this resilience is a robust emergency fund, ideally covering 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. This provides a financial cushion to handle disruptions like job loss without compromising long-term goals. We encourage you to take action. Evaluate your current financial situation and start building or bolstering your emergency fund today. It's a vital step toward a more secure and adaptable financial future.